Doing
Awesome.
well. Doing well.
Awesome.
Can't
Awesome.
complain.
So we're here tonight. Rob and I have a very special guest on tonight. Actually, you were on
Oh,
almost a year ago. You were on
It was a
the
year ago? Wow.
yeah, it's
yeah.
almost a
Time
year ago.
flies.
Um
Man, I'm getting old too.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I am.
You're only as old as you feel, right? I keep telling
That's so
myself
true.
that.
Absolutely.
So we had you on a year ago talking about your experience, how you came to be where you are. I had a unique opportunity. We were both at GaryCon last year. Didn't really touch paths or anything, but you had a lot of stream time, a lot of time going on last year. So I just kind of left that be.
Yes, and a lot coming up this year too. So it'll be a blast. Another year.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to GaryCon 2025, but we have some other things in between now and then also going on. So let's just
Sure.
roll right into that.
Please ask away.
Introduce yourself real quick, Jay.
Cool. My name is full name Jay Scott. Everyone knows me as LordGosumba. That's a character in my D&D GreyHawk campaign of 44 plus years. He's the head of the Order of Yulik, which is the symbol here, which the campaign's based around. So I've been playing with my friends, one as early as 1978, a couple in 80, a couple in 85, 86, and the rookie in 92 for my main group. So we've been playing together 44 plus years. The campaign started in 80 when we started GreyHawk, because in 1978 we were playing Holmes Basic. So we've been playing that long, and we've been running it ever since. And then I got the genius idea in May of 2018 to start live streaming things. So we started out with just playing on Thursday nights, turned into a talk show, Gabbin, on Sunday nights. Then we brought on Legends and Lore on Wednesday nights, and then run a lot of special games, usually sometime during a Saturday. So I call it 3.5 streams a week, because I don't run that Saturday one every week, but it's probably more like 3 2/3 now, because I do it a lot. But
way more than I'm doing, man. I'd have to never sleep if I was trying to take on your schedule.
Pretty much. And Greg doesn't sleep enough as it is.
You get into a routine, right? The routine starts, and then it gets a little easier. But you got to balance that with home life, right?
Right.
And all the other things that are going on. But I'm having fun with it. It's been a blast. It was a grind the first 3 years, until one day, I think it was December 2nd, coming up. There'll be 3 years coming up this year in 21. I go on and I bring up the background thing on Twitch, right? You got all your your folio, what do you call it? Your maintenance spot. And I got these extra folders. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And one says partner. I'm like, wow, I guess they partnered me. I didn't even know. It was really crazy. Yeah, I didn't realize it till then, and then I figured it out, and then I got the email after that, and so we're going on 3 years for that, and it's been wonderful. As a matter of fact, Twitch has really stepped up, I think, with partners. They like last night, we're doing my Gavin talk show, and all of a sudden the viewer number goes up to 100, 200, 300, 400. They threw me on the front page. On the top front page. Last night, I didn't. You can request it. I didn't even request it. It was really cool. So there's a lot of cool things happening for the positive with the community, and we could discuss all that. But I appreciate having me back. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for coming back. Absolutely.
Surely.
So the partner thing, when you first got yourself established as partner, I mean, we were just kind of talking about this. You, at that point, also, I mean, you had a goal of creating a stream team.
Yes, absolutely. So some things that you may notice as an affiliate. I went through this. Man, if you're on a prime time, sometimes your connection sucks, right?
Mhm.
chunks, and it's based on viewers. It's all this weird formula. That and sponsors and opportunity are two things, and the third thing was, because if you're a partner, they give you dedicated bandwidth, right? That's why they only have so many. So I haven't had that issue since then. And then the third thing was I want to set up a stream team for the community, and that is something that I always wanted to do, and I tried. Partners can set it up for you, then step out and then assign it to someone, but that wasn't happening in the 3 years before. So once that happened, I did it literally the next day. I was like, we're going to set up this thing called GreyHawk Creatives, and
Mm.
it was something I wanted to do. And then I started inviting streamers that are, actual GreyHawk streamers, and then um, here are links on okay in your chat. Oh, I guess we'll find out here. So put that in. Okay, there it is. So that just shows you that what pops up in all the. Oh, that's wrong. Shit. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Whoops.
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to shout myself out. I linked the wrong thing. I
That's all
apologize.
right, man.
Oh my
It's okay.
gosh. Because I got my stream deck up, and I
That's
put it to my channel and then to where the heck is it?
that's all right. I got a timer that shouts you out already, so it's just going off a
Yeah,
little
I
early.
apologize on that there. Oh my
No,
God.
all good,
That's what
man.
happens when you get old.
I don't.
I don't even
I
remember.
I don't
Okay.
go. I don't go for like the off the wall people jumping in and popping garbage in thing. But
Right.
I mean, anybody that's going to be
Yeah.
on this channel, I mean, I'm completely fine with you.
There it is.
Advertise your
Yeah.
channel. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, man. Seriously,
No,
I
it's
can't believe I
okay.
made that mistake. But so it's called GreyHawk Creatives because we wanted to be inclusive beyond just a GreyHawk D&D streamer. So
Gotcha.
my idea was one of the things I did was I really got in with crafters like Mike Disney and Christine Van Patten and a lot of
Mm.
other people that are outside of a D&D streamer, and I wanted to invite them in because I know a lot of them had not. Here we go. There it is. Woohoo! There it is. So I wanted to have an umbrella of a community beyond. So we've invited some that are streamers. I've invited a lot of my streamers that are not D&D um, main showrunners. Some of
Mm.
like Coco Bird, they're video game players,
Right.
but they
Yeah.
play on my channel on a regular basis. Darling Creepshow does some games, and Little Bones and Myriad. I invite them all in because
Yeah.
it's just they're regulars into my on my channel, and
Mm.
so I want them to be all in one place, and
Oh,
it's worked.
Darling's been working on doing a lot more creative content.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
Yeah.
that's,
Usually I watch her and she's doing mini paintings and what have you. Because I think she's a 40K fan. I can't confirm that, but I've seen her painting
Her number one game she loves is Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. Okay.
2077.
That's her number one game. She loves.
2077. Yeah.
In fact, she was dumbstruck when she met the creator at CarryCon, right?
Mike, good old Mike Ponce. Yep.
Yeah, she
Yep.
was Mike Bondsmith. She was so happy when that happened.
Oh,
So
Mike's a pretty cool guy.
yeah, and so
So was his son, actually.
it's a lot of they've done more and more. Some of the channels like Myriad's DMing now, and Bones is DMing, and I had them. I've had guests D&D DMs or other game DMs on my channel after GaryCon. We really ran with the momentum
Mhm.
from there. So, for example, Curtis Cable, who's Curtis C, he's a regular in the community and loves playing my NPC Fritz Winchester, one of the most hated NPCs in the game, but he's turned him into like an anti-hero almost. He ran champions at every year. He runs a champions game at GaryCon. I'm like, man, and I got my super account, Rockets Red Glare. It's really freaking hysterical. And so I'm like, dude, well, why don't we just on Saturday morning? Why don't we just run a game on my channel? So we've done a lot of extra content. So, and that's the thing. When you get to a point, you don't have to worry about what the viewer average is going to be on the channel.
Right.
It's like I can do whatever as long as it's legal, I can do whatever content I want now, so I can experiment and do some things. I did a game show one time. I'll do all sorts of crazy things and just try out different styles. Or
Yeah.
I had Scott, his name is Scott, working at Chaosium. I had last year I had Call of Cthulhu game on my channel too, right around Christmas time last year. That was fun too. I'll do all sorts of.
I've been debating on doing a Call of Cthulhu. We haven't actually ran a live game now in a little while, and we've been working on converting. So we're actually going to be running we're going to be running a Symborum campaign, but we're going to do it video only.
Okay.
And yeah, but I do want to get back to running some games on the channel. I just
I think
haven't decided what yet.
I think from that, like when I started, and we had a 3 to 5 viewer average on a Thursday night, because let's face it, old school. If you don't know the nuances, and you're watching it without any context, you're going to a lot of 5e people were like, this isn't for me.
Right.
So right off the bat, and then I had to figure out what I was doing. And one of the things was, I'm not going to get anywhere running one stream a week on a Thursday. And then, so I went from that into the talk shows. That's kind of how it went. I went from that into the multiple talk shows, and then running the special events. And it really, the channel really took off when I hit the special events in with all the special players. It is nice to be able to call my good friend Ed Greenwood up to Ed. Do you want to play in a game? And he's like, sure. So yeah, that helps.
Seems like a really cool dude. I've watched a couple of his videos on YouTube and some interviews and stuff that he's done. He seems like a really cool dude.
He is. So he will be he's our kickoff event for our virtual GreyHawk. He will be he's playing on that Thursday night on my channel, and then he won't be doing anything else during that con. He's busy the rest of the weekend. But the Saturday after that, which will be the 12th, I have a game with his group, 2 Drink Minimum, which has Eric Boyd. He's a legend back in the day, 2nd edition, writing all the deity books for Forgotten Realms. Tony Winslow Brill, Eric Mengi, we'll all be playing in the game on coming up at that date. So yeah,
awesome.
It's fun. It's good.
If you have any open spots, let me know.
That group is always interesting. It's not hard to get special guests for that for that game. And then I do the crossover with the all female group, the Slav Squad. What a mouthful that is. And that's Darling, Bones, and Myriad are the core members of that group. So
gotcha.
yeah.
And say that 5 times fast.
Yes, exactly. And they named it. So what am I going to do?
They play as, it's kind of like a little stream team there between those 3. They play in several different channels.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Several different channels within the GreyHawk Creatives as well.
Now, yes, and that's the great thing was when I brought them in. So I don't know if you guys do this. I peruse the channels. I'll go and I'll just start looking at channels when I'm bored. And I'm like, this is an interesting channel. This is an interesting person. That's how I came across Darling. I just went to her channel and started talking to her. That's how we met. And then from there, I said, hey, you want to get in a game? She's like, yeah. And then we went from that, and then we just became friends. And I guess that's got to be 3-4 years ago. Probably 3.5 years ago. Yeah.
I tend to lurk surf. So I'll be engaged in a channel for a while, and then I'll get busy doing something. So I'm not actually watching, I'm just listening. And then I just kind of coast wherever the people raid to.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, because my laptop right here, which I have the stream on right now, is that's on almost all the time. Because in the creatives group, if someone's on and I'm not doing anything, I will put this on just to lurk. I mean, there's nothing wrong with lurking.
Yeah,
I will lurk. I will lurk them. That's part of the thing. So there's no set rules with the creatives. I highly recommend to them, if there's a creative on, you should raid into one of them first, unless there's a preset reason you're raiding into someone else. So Sunday night Starling's when I raid into her. and then if someone else is on a different day, I'll raid into them. Robert, Phantom NJ, who's on now, he'll raid into me on Thursday nights because you'll have a little mini hour talk show on Thursday, and then he'll come into me, before I go, right when I go live for my game on Thursday. So it kind of, everyone supports each other, and it works, and it's kind of created its own streaming community within the GreyHawk community. Like I said, they're not all GreyHawk people.
Right.
They have a connection somehow, So, and that's what I look for. So I don't tell anyone, oh, well, here's the requirements. You got to stream 2/3 of your content, GreyHawk content. I'm not gonna, who am I to tell someone what to stream?
Right. Right.
But we need to have a connection of some sort.
Well, there's a lot of stream teams out there that actually that's the way they conduct themselves, though, is they kind of dictate what you have to. You know what I mean? There's certain rules that go with the team.
Yeah, I imagine there are, but for us, it's as Rob said, pay it forward, make it so that someone will appreciate it and then appreciate you, and then they will know, wow, this happened to me, and wow, Jay came into me with a rate of 85.
Pass it on.
I have, I have 30. I still have 30 viewers here, and I'll look for them. Yeah. And so it
Right.
works. It also creates, like you said, it creates community, and they know I got their backs. So I get asked a lot for help, advice, ideas.
Yeah, I've asked you for advice before as well. I'm not even part of the GreyHawk
sponsors, right?
I did ask you about sponsors once too. Yeah, but
I have a new one since we talked. I got a new one. I dumped one of my. That's harsh. I parted ways with one of my 3D print companies. Talked to my friend Bill, the Master Crafter. I said, Bill, if we were going to target someone, who would it be? And so he said, this company. And I said, 100%. What's that?
Oh, I just welcoming in Retro Gamer.
Oh yeah, hey, that's that's Mike. So I kind of know as many first names. Yeah, Mike has a 3D print company where he sends out prints too.
Oh, nice.
So Mike's Mike's a good guy.
Really nice.
So, but the printing goes ever on. They're Polish company. Max is a great guy. So I reach out to Max, and he's like, no problem. Boom. So added them in. And the number one thing, just ask.
Well, how, you know what, so I'm gonna go down that path for just a moment. So
sure.
How large were you when you, as far as like your followers and whatnot, when you got your first sponsorship?
Probably 250 followers and probably a viewer average 20.
Okay.
Well, so 250 followers with a viewer average of 20 isn't bad, though. I mean,
that's well. When I'm shooting for 75 viewer average, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then you start figuring out the math. You start figuring things out. So I had been using Miniature Building Authority since 2000. And Kurt Stevens is a great guy. And, those buildings are awesome, and they're resin and they're hardcore. They're not cheap, but so I said to Kirk, my buddy Marco, this has got to be 28. It's 2018. So yeah, it's only it's probably 6 months into me streaming. So my viewer average may be a little about that or a little less. I said, Mark, why don't you just stop at Kurt's booth? He knows me. I guarantee it from all the stuff I ordered from him. And so Mark made the connection at Gen Con. Kirk had a booth, and then he called me, and we just put together an agreement, and he was my first sponsor. And then from there, I got Stratagem, and I got Reaper. Reaper was the big one. So and since Stratagem got bought up by a large company, they're gone now because that large company didn't want to do it. Yeah. So, and they were my dice, my Titan dice. Yeah. That happened about 6 months ago. Hey, but that's what you move on and get other ones.
Yeah, and it happens. I mean, you got a lot of large companies out there who are buying up, smaller mom and
pop. But there's always someone, and I always want to have a company that I can talk to the boss or the head or the sales manager one-on-one. That's what I want. I want to be able for them to converse with me back and forth. So, yeah. And so you were at GreyHawk last year.
Yep.
And you may have, I don't know if you saw my table setups, but Jeremy from Gamescape 3D, one of my sponsors, he was there, and he had a pallet of stuff he brought. Now the good thing is he grew up literally 20 minutes away from Lake Geneva, So his parents live in Wisconsin, and he drove up from where he lives now in Kentucky and drove there, stayed there, and now he's got a room there. He's actually sponsoring GaryCon this year,
Nice.
so he can get a room, at GaryCon. So he'll be there.
Yeah, I was crazy this year. I didn't plan for time for me to do anything except for run games. I actually ran 2 4-hour games each day of the con. So
see, that's insane, man. Now I break it up. I try and get an hour between me DMing, which is always at 9 a.m. every morning. I'll DM only at 9 a.m. And that's because if I got to worry about someone getting off of a table and I got to set terrain up, it's just a pain. There's one exception to that coming up. We can talk about that later.
I do right now. I just do all theater of the mind. So I don't do anything with the trains or maps or anything like that. Right. And ours, because it's more story based, is kind of that's my style. So go ahead.
I never besmirch anyone for their play style or how they run things, because as long as you're playing, that is the best thing. Just play, right?
I have a lot of online games which we use Roll20s for. So I mean, I got a bunch of maps and stuff there, but
it's I hope you give yourself some breaks, because for me, I got it down to a science. 9 to 1 at GaryCon, an hour break, seminar running in, no seminars on Saturday, seminar from 2 to 4 on Thursday, seminar from 2 to 4 on Friday, and then games 9 o'clock on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then I'll have the rest of the Saturday afternoon off to maybe sign up for stuff. But yeah, it's just it's a system work.
That's a smart way to do it.
I am trying to do that. Learn from Jay, man, I am horrible with that stuff. I will pack the whole day full of things and then set, halfway through, I'm like, oh man, I should have put a break in here somewhere.
I'll do that.
You have to, because I need to eat or need to just unwind or something else needs to go on, because GaryCon's such a fast pace event, and plus I'm streaming a lot of stuff. I know Josh Pop's not on here now, but with Josh and the crew from GaryCon, I could be a bit of a pain. So in my demands. So I'm like, well, look, I always get a boardroom for at least one game, and then I was in the Chop House last year too for the egg game, for the 2-drink minimum game.
I got a private. There's a story behind this, but I actually got a private room for a game last year.
Cool.
And here's my story for you. Okay, I scheduled the 8 games, and the last game that I had scheduled, they gave me an 8 o'clock spot. All right. I don't know how I got an 8 o'clock spot, but they gave me an 8 o'clock spot. I had full game players. And we got put in one of the big wing rooms. There was, I forget which one it was. Yeah,
it was a long table. The board. That's
Well, no, it wasn't a boardroom. It was one of the regular gameplay rooms, but it was way in one of the back wings.
Oh, okay. Oh, way in the back, the way near the vendors.
Yeah, and I thought it was odd. No, actually, not that way. The other way.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was odd when I was going to this game, because they had games set up all in the big hallway there and whatnot, but everything was basically shut down at this point. So I'm going to my game and I get in this room and it's empty. All the tables are still there, but it's completely empty. So I'm like, all right, I know I'm in the right spot. I'm in the right room. Right. So I went and sat down at the table, laid out my stuff, and the players came. They sat down, and we got harassed for like 20 minutes by some of the cleanup people that were there.
Because it was supposed to start.
Yeah, apparently they were supposed to be no more games over there, but they scheduled my last game at 8 o'clock in that room. So I'm like, hey man, I get a private room. Me and my players get a private room, and I probably would have been a little bit different about it, but the guy was like tearing down the wall next to us when we're trying to do our thing. Kept telling me, you're gonna have to doing this. I'm like, dude, you need to get out of here. Okay, this is my room. I have this room from 8 to midnight. You need to leave.
Yeah.
And because you're here bothering me means I am definitely going to be here till midnight.
Right.
I don't blame you, Greg. Like, I
So
mean, it's number one, you're following what you were scheduled. So
Right, right.
they need to communicate better. That's kind of what I
sometimes,
noticed.
you know,
Yeah.
weird things happen. I've had some strange things happen at Gary Con.
I think it actually added to the ambience.
Yeah,
To be honest with you, because the players were loving it. They thought it was great.
fantastic. Gary Con is a great event. My favorite. So.
So what was the one? There's probably several, but what was the one thing that really stuck out for you that happened at Gary Con
This year?
Yeah.
How we took the place over. We had literally 50 people from our community there. Some people that are on now in chat, like Phantom NJ, Darling, Myriad, Bones, Bird, Coco, Guild Superior, Stronghold D&D. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Josh Pop and all of them. I mean, there's just so many people that were there. So yeah, it was awesome because the year before we think we had like 20 to 25 the year before, but this year we doubled it, and it was just the nightlife afterwards was great in the back bar. Normally we'd take over a whole corner back there.
Right.
Normally the color game guys go back there, to be honest with you, because Steven Chenault and his brother Davis. But Davis will sit down I'm sorry to bust him, but Davis will sit down for 10 seconds with a drink. He'll leave, say, I'll be right back. He'll put his drink down, and you won't see him for an hour. That's Davis.
Just
so
forget it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Troller game guys usually go back there too. So it was a fun time. That was the number one thing. The other thing was just the 2 weekends was rough. It was great, and I love the experience, but it was tedious. It was a lot, especially with terrain. I ran 3 sessions of a Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun that first weekend. So 3 with different people signed up. So I got to have all these character sheets done. So I run it with all terrain. Then I run that, and then they asked me to run a game on Tuesday afternoon. I run that. I just do an ad hoc game, figure that out, and then having 3 more individual games on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I had a lot of prep work, hours and hours of prep work before I even got there. So it just was, and then all the seminars and talk shows, and it was a lot. I was feeling it.
Did anybody else from the community actually run games this year for Gary?
Oh yeah, a lot of them. Absolutely. Rob, you ran them, right? Phantom did. Guild Superior did. Stronghold did. William Henry Dvorak, he ran games. Curtis ran a couple games. Yeah, oh yeah, a lot of people.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
you guys
I got a question for you, Jay.
Go for it.
How long was the recovery time after Gary Con?
Well, it was
because I remember when I was with Kingdom Death Monster, we went to Gen Con 50. We were there all weekend. I was about a good week and a half. I needed.
How much drinking were you doing?
Not a lot, surprisingly. Not a lot. I think with it being my first one, I wanted to experience it and not have a hangover the next day. And I was running games for the company and interacting with players and stuff. So I was fairly sober most of the time, but it took me a good week.
So that's the story in itself. First off, I had been there already a full week when that Wednesday night party happened with the Cinnamon Toast Crunch shots. And then, do you know what an Irish car bomb is?
Yes, of course.
I've never lost an Irish car bomb chugging contest. So Curtis decided, so it's after all that, you drop that half Jameson Bailey's shot into 3/4 of a Guinness, except they had no shot glasses. So it kind of cheesed it because you had to just pour it in, which is ridiculous. So I'm bringing my own shot glasses this year or something. But I was toast. But my flight got delayed 8 hours.
Oh man!
In Chicago, I didn't get home till 2 a.m. and I had to be down in Washington D.C. for work for the job I had at that time. By like 9, it was brutal. I was feeling it, and driving it was brutal. It was a rough time, so I felt it. But
as is typical. I think Greg, you got sick after that.
I did. I spent the next. Well,
Concrud.
I don't know if it was Concrud more than anything else, but
Pretty much.
I was laid up for a couple. I think I slept for like 48 hours straight almost, but yeah, it sucked.
Yeah, recovery's rough from that, and I didn't give myself enough time to recover, and it had some repercussions for the better. If you can, it did. It had some repercussions for the better. So
for those of you ever attending Gary Con or any con, give yourself some time. Take a couple extra days to just chill out.
So I'll give you an example for this year. I'm stuck in a dilemma because I was going to get out of there early Sunday and go to and get home, so that I didn't have to take the Monday off or whatever.
Right.
And then Curtis and Brett tell me, well, we're going to have this large dinner. We're not going to go to the after party or the pizza party this year. We're going to go out somewhere nice. I'm like, oh my God, I already set my flight. And they're trying to convince me to stay now throughout Sunday and leave Monday. So now I've already got this dilemma. So I'll figure it out.
When it comes to that convention piece, I notice like Harper's got some comments there. If you like for me, like I said, I ran 2 4-hour games all 4 days. So I mean, I put in a work week over GaryCon.
Yeah, it's brutal.
I know I shouldn't have done that. So I mean, my immune system was probably trash by Sunday night anyway.
Yeah.
So
we had many discussions in the background of Greg saying, "Oh man, this is gonna suck."
Yeah, was it the same game or were they different games?
Different games. I actually well,
that's good.
I actually ran 5 different games on the 8 session. The evening sessions were all the same thing, all the Witcher. So I just ran a Witcher scenario 4 times in the evening. The daytime game was actually a 4-part series based in Cyberpunk.
So you got a system down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna do the same thing this year. Only it's gonna be a little different with the. We're running the next 4 pieces of the Cyberpunk campaign as well. I'll be running this year. I'm also gonna run at least 2 sessions of Shadowscar, which is the new game that Cody published coming out of Artel Sorian.
Yeah.
And I got 2 more slots open that are not filled yet. Haven't decided what to put there.
It's awesome.
Yeah. For those of you who go ahead.
No, I was going to say you got it down. You got a system down that works for you.
Right.
For those of you who are familiar with Shadowscar, I highly recommend you go to Artel Sorian's website and check it out. Myself and Greg and a few other people had the pleasure of playtesting it a bit, and it's definitely an interesting one. Definitely worth it.
Actually, that's all right. So that's one of the number one questions I get all the time is, Jay, why don't you play or DM any other content besides old school one D&D? And I say, first off, I do BattleTech / MechWarrior once in a blue moon, but I don't want to.
I used to play that years ago.
Yeah, that's great. Rob plays in that too. Phantom NJ plays in that group, and I'm actually running one at Page in BattleTech. I'm just changing it up, but
we actually play more D&D than we do anything else. It's just we do that in our private games. So
yeah. So and again, because it's a private game, it gets a little bit more play. Whereas for the stream and stuff, we're running through different systems. So yeah. Simbrom's gonna be next.
Right. No.
I'll be DMing.
No paid sponsors for us, but we do have some limited sponsorship. So
that's okay though. It's a start.
Yeah.
Oh,
so before affiliate, did I have 4 or 3? I had Reaper before I was a partner. I'm going to say I had 4 or 5 before I even was partner.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I don't care if that's the thing for me is I don't really care if it's a paid sponsorship or not. I really look at it as, hey, if it's a sponsorship and you're going to give me some free swag and stuff that I can give away to my community, I'm happy with that.
Absolutely. 100%.
And that's Free League, Artel Sorian. We also have CZYY, which is the Bullet Dice folks. So
really cool dice, by the way.
Right.
Greg showed off some of them. I think was it shortly after you got them after GaryCon.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So pretty dope.
That's very cool. Yeah. So ask away anything else you'd like to know. I'm here and
well, why don't you tell us a little bit about GreyHawk Con and
Virtual GreyHawk Con?
Yes.
Virtual GreyHawk Con 5.
I've seen that.
Year. Isn't it crazy? So every year, going back to COVID. COVID cancels GaryCon 2020 2 weeks before it starts. Right.
Right.
And they get this idea. Let's put together a virtual con 10 days before it's supposed to start. Who knows what they're doing? Oh, Jay does. So I streamed 8 events that year, including Stefan Picorni's game, which lasted 7 to 8 hours. I ran that game on a Sunday for remote stream. So I streamed a ton of stuff. 2021 comes around. We have there are 3 channels streaming that year.
Mhm.
We have a GreyHawk only channel, and we get the highest ratings out of all of them. We had 24/7 content from Thursday night on through Sunday. And that took me months to set that up. So those 2 years, but 2020 comes around, first year, and Anna and Meyer get together, and Anna are like, well, why don't we can do this? If we could do this for GaryCon in freaking 10 days, we can set up our own con with the community, make it a community nonprofit. It's not a fundraiser. It's a nonprofit convention. And it went from there, and this is the 5th year of it. So we have a lot of participants.
Is it all GreyHawk oriented, or
for the most part? But really, some of this stuff maybe have a GreyHawk name on it, but could be anything you'd want to call it. I help out some of the streamers or some of the channels. Like, give me some ideas for well, take this that you're doing and just put it in Furyundi and GreyHawk in a small village. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Yeah, exactly, Rob. We're calendaring stuff for Virtual.com 1. Yeah, it was that long ago. So I ran it. There's a notorious event that happened during Virtual.com 1. I did not run a joust that year, and now I have a joust every year. But that first year, I had a special game where I DM'd for Luke Gygax, Ed Green. No, Ed wasn't there. Eric Mona and a bunch of other people.
Right.
And it's the dreaded Mel Sasadaro incident. So we're playing, and it's an adventure, and they're trying to find this something. And Luke's got the son of Melf. And by the way, Luke will be back for the joust and coming up in 2 Saturdays. Luke's character, he's made a character, the son of Melf. His name's Eliador, but you know how Melf is male elf, right? That's what it is. So his nickname's Smelf, son of Melf, right? So that's what we call him as a joke. But there's a guy on a hill, and he's down here on the ground, and he goes, I cast Mel Sasadaro, and the range of Mel Sasadaro is like 60 feet. I'm like, you can't cast that, Luke. It's out of range. He's like, what about it? Because it's in yards outdoor. I said, triple that. That's 180. That guy's 300 feet away. So I actually am the guy.
Can I get some extra range on that if I arc it?
I'm the guy who told Luke Gygax he couldn't cast a spell that he made, and it's in the Orange Arcana. Yeah, I've taken that for a long time, but yeah, so that was fun. But we had a good time during that first one, and then it's grown a little bit each year. We have streaming content from Thursday night now all the way to. I've expanded to Thursday this year, from Thursday night all the way through to Sunday. We have schedule highlighted streams, and there may be some other streams going on, but I've highlighted everyone who's streaming at least for one event. And it ends up with an Ask the Expert session on Sunday night where my Gavin would be.
Right.
So I got like Roger Moore, who's written a ton of stuff in the day for GreyHawk, and a couple other people that are legends of aficionados of GreyHawk every year doing it. Eric Mona can't do it this year. He usually does it every year, but he has a conflict. He's going to a concert, so it's like, just dude, it's all right. So Eric can't make it this year, but yeah, we got some great people. So that takes place at Gavin for that Sunday. But yeah, there it is. Yep. Yeah, and there are still open events. There are a lot of events on Saturday that need signups.
I put all the advertisement pieces up, and then I forgot to put the link up there, so I figured I'd better throw that in there.
And chat's good because you'll click right to it, and it'll go right to it. It's a $5 fee plus $13 or $1.30 TTE fee, so it's like $6 and change, just to cover costs in there.
And that's
have the t-shirts. Yeah.
Is that play as much as you want, or what is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All sign up.
Buy a ticket and go play.
That's it.
That's a nice deal.
Absolutely. And so event registration is already started August 31st, but there are all the key people's stuff sells out pretty quick. but there are still some really good games that have signups, and there's seminars on there too. But you can watch them on Twitch anyway. We
Mhm.
put them in there for placeholders, so you know what's going on, and it'll show up. Oh, I don't want to be in a game at this point because
Right.
Anna's things going on Friday night, for example. So yeah, and we have like Carlos Lysing, myself, William Henry Dvorak, Rob Phantom and Jay, Folk and Myth, Guild Superior, Anna Meyer, the ever mysterious Tim, everyone DMing an event. GreyHawk Reborn came up with 18 events this year, and they're their own separate group. They're off of the Living GreyHawk era, and they're still doing it. They got some. They sell out. I think I have like only 2 games left that aren't sold out.
When I was looking
Lots
at
of really cool stuff.
when I was looking at that yesterday, are you still open for submissions, or is the submissions closed?
Submissions close shortly, but it's my con, so I can always make. I actually have an opening for a live stream at 9 a.m. on Sunday now because something happened. So there you go. 9 to 12, 9 to 12, 9 to 1 Sunday. I'm looking for a streamer. No, the last day event submissions September 28th. Yep. And when you do a stream, you can bring in your own people, but I want 2 open signups. That's
Gotcha.
what I want, at least 2 seats open. If you want to have all 6 or 5 open or whatever, that's fine. But yeah. So if you want to join in,
I figured I would just say I don't know if I'm gonna. I'm not saying I'm gonna submit something. Maybe, never know. Maybe.
just let me know.
But it looked like there was still an open spot there, so I thought, hey, you know what? Let's bring that up. Maybe there's somebody out there who would be interested. And
Yeah. So I have put that out there. I was supposed to do something with if you know Andrew Scott Perry from Gary Con, he has Warp. It's just a conflict of my time and his time. He's going to run an event for 8 people in the community. Excuse me, but it just didn't work this year. So
didn't work out. Gotcha. That's why I was asking if it's all has to be GreyHawk, because I mean, I've kind of become the cyberpunk DM thing. So
He has. That's kind of Greg's shtick.
GreyHawk cyberpunk. I mean,
I don't know if that would work, but beggars can't be choosers for me. So you never know. You may get some good signups for cyberpunk. You never know.
You know what I was thinking about last night, Jay. I really thought about the possibility of running like a Ravenloft one shot.
See, my original Ravenloft, the original adventure, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know if I have print one of down here because I get all these from Canadian Ancient Gamer for giveaways. If you never noticed, it's in here, this pile somewhere. Ravenloft and Ravenloft 2.
Mm-hmm.
Where is this I2? That's Tomb of the Lizard King. Whatever the I numbers are. I6 and I10, is that it? This should drive me nuts. Yep. Oh, look, I have them right here.
Isn't that amazing? Look quick.
Yeah, there you go. So there's Ravenloft and Ravenloft 2. Ravenloft 2.
Awesome.
Right. Yeah. So I placed Ravenloft in Northern Keeland when I ran it because there wasn't a setting back then.
Right.
And the Hickmans did a great job with that. So that was one of Leonard Lakofka's favorite adventures besides any that he wrote. Because, it had that, I forget what they call that map, but the angle, that 3D map that's inside there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was a cool adventure. Running that in 3-4 hours is impossible. Running a piece of it,
Right. It'd have to be just a piece of it. Or, maybe an adaptation of Curse of Strahd or something like that.
Isometric. That's it. Yeah, which is fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah, isometric. That's the right word. My English is real bad now. My IQ goes down every year there, Rob. So as I get older, something happens as you get older here. But yeah, so I'm still taking submissions. I got 5 days. Even if it goes past that, then I can always rush something in.
So how many seats do you have open right now? Do you know? As far as for players go?
15, maybe.
Wow, not much.
Not much. But see, most of them are smaller DMs who don't stream. They're going to run their game on Discord or through Zoom or whatever, and I really appreciate them giving their time. And so I've been promoting it a lot. And even so, every year on Sunday night before, so my Gabbin this Sunday is the Virtual GreyHawk Prelude show. I'll have streamers on, I'll have special players on, special guests on, just talk about what they're going to do, and then we'll highlight all the stuff that's not been filled yet, especially. And I do that as much as possible because I really appreciate their time.
So go ahead.
It's easy to fill. Like Carlos Lysing's a legend, right? Carlos's adventures at GaryCon, Carlos and mine are sold out in 30 seconds, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But these others that aren't streaming, I appreciate them taking their time out, and so I'm gonna do everything I can to try and get those filled. So say they have 6 seats, but I can run it with 4. Make sure to get 4.
Right.
So you got Rob, you're in Carlos's game too. Yeah, Carlos's game was sold out in 30 seconds.
If nothing else, I might do that. I might just pick up a ticket and go play some games.
There's plenty of games. Saturday especially. Saturday evening and Saturday morning, there are plenty of games still open. And I think we got too many Saturday night games. My Grand Joust is Saturday night at 6 o'clock. So, if there's, it's a lot of people are in that or want to watch it. So a lot of people, I think that's the issue with. And also Les Reno, Oblivion Seeker. He's a big one. I know he has one on Saturday night, and that fills up quickly, and that's old school. So it's a lot of there's a lot of other too many. We got in on that. I haven't monitored that as much as I should. I want people to run stuff when they want to. It's not like it's GaryCon where they're we're gonna have
got to have a time slot. And
so
it's a little bit more free form, which is
absolutely
that's good. Everybody can play or DM as their schedule allows.
And everyone runs on their own channel, and it creates a raid train from the beginning of the morning to the evening. Boom, raid in. Follows through.
That's actually pretty nice.
Yeah,
we're not running it on one channel; it's on their own channels.
Gotcha.
Absolutely, 100%.
The virtual piece that the GaryCon did for 2024, actually, I realize it's, there's a whole lot of work that has to go into that, but I thought that actually worked pretty well, personally.
They nixed it this year.
Yeah, I seen that. We were able to, we added 8 more games to what we were providing through the virtual piece. Rob ran 4 and Matt ran 4.
Yeah.
I think Gamehole did too. I think once people were comfortable going back, I think they saw it was a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
it is, because you got to have someone coordinate that. But and there's only so much manpower to go around. But since this is a 100% virtual con, everyone knows.
Right.
Hey, man, I can sit at home at my computer and I can play in a joust or play in a game with someone who I like, and just sit there in my own home. So but that's a shame they've done that, but they do have it. Like, we'll take anyone, and if you know how to use Roll20 or Theater of the Mind or whatever, and you just know how to connect it with Discord, or you have a Zoom or Skype or whatever you want to use, and you want to set up a DM event, go for it. I'll help promote it.
I'll take a look at it.
Yeah,
that would be it's pretty short notice for me, but I would definitely.
But it's a fun event that tends to lead into February.
Yes.
Second or third weekend in February.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Which is my it'll be the 7th annual, which is nuts, fundraiser for St. Jude.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I got a question with regards to that. What I guess what led you into that? Obviously aside from the St. Jude fundraiser being something I do know a lot of streamers do. A lot of streamers do fundraising for that.
Yeah, I mean, Tucker Lupo's raised millions for him, right?
Yeah.
So I always said, well, if I'm going to be successful at this, we're gonna get back because we can, right? So I got a full-time job. I got a real. I think we had under 1,000 followers at the time we did our first one, and we had 3 streamers, 3 channels. That was it. The first time, and we raised 1,000. I remember the amount, $1,024, right? And then every year, like doubled until this last year we did 26,000 over the days on. Yeah, so we're over, like, communities over almost $90,000 now we've done.
Over the 7 years.
Yeah. Oh, actually, over the 5. The first 2 years
Oh,
don't go into that because we didn't. I created that group until Tiltify wasn't doing it. Then I set up
gotcha.
a Tiltify group, so all the money goes right through Tiltify now, which makes it
Mm,
easy, and everyone knows where their money's going. The first 2 years we didn't use that, so it's like $88,000 I think through Tiltify. So there's $3,000 that aren't in because of that in the group. So yeah, but it's almost like a mini con, except everything is. And GreyHawk Reborn actually runs stuff on the side, and then they have people pay to sign up in their seats, and then they just throw the money in a donation. But
yeah.
so we'll start off Thursday night and run through all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then I do a wrap up Gavin show, and I have some that are sandbagging. One, our largest so Phantom NJ was on. I don't want to embarrass him. He's number 2 every year. So in donations.
Okay.
So, but here's the thing: the number 1 donator, his family tithes. He's a regular viewer. He doesn't want to, but so he won't take any of the big prizes. So Rob's second. He always always gets the thing. Like
Yeah.
we had a Cave Geek Arc one year. Kafir Mendel, GreyHawk City area map in his Cave Geek art style. That which is cool, man. He
No, yeah,
donated that,
absolutely.
and then we had crazy stuff. Sealed Free City Grok box set, all sorts of things that the community donates, and it is those sandbaggers hold out until that Sunday night talk show, and then boom, get thousands in there. I didn't think we were gonna make it. No, I didn't think we were gonna make it last year. I think we were at $21,000 going into that, and then
Nice.
And
crazy
you just
stuff
got
started.
tons of donations.
Yeah. So kind of it's a tradition now, but if you can get back, let's do it. My friend Mark,
Yeah,
Mark doesn't play anymore because he lives in Ohio
mm,
now, and he's just too busy with his real life. And he didn't want to remote in when everyone else was playing in person. Had someone who really was helped by St. Jude, so we were going to do local. We're going to do Children's Hospital Philly because we all live here. But I
mm,
said I think we should do something national instead,
Right.
and so that's where it went. And so
gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good cause.
Yeah.
Any charity, and like you said, when you can give back, as much as you can,
So,
because that's kind of all we're here to do.
every year I have a theme, and I haven't picked out one yet for next year. I will do that. I usually do that right around Thanksgiving. I pick the theme for what it's going to be. I've had legends, have also had dragons and Underdark,
Mm,
or Underdark Uprising one year. Yeah, it's all sorts of things. We did the Orbs of Dragonkind one year. That was actually the first year. We did it. The Falcon series. The Falcon was a baddie in GreyHawk City and adventures I didn't like, so we redid them. So we tried to do early
Demons.
on storylines, but it was so tough between all the streamers connecting them. I was like, just do whatever content you want to do based on the theme. So
mm,
yeah, so we'll figure out a
nice.
theme.
Oh,
Yeah,
you have to let me know once or
yeah,
remind me once we get closer to that, because I definitely would love to help support that and promote it
absolutely.
as well.
So just please note, I have the regulars have those time slots they got set. So like
Right.
if you want, I have plenty of time slots. It's just I have to give the prime ones to certain individuals, like
Absolutely.
myself. The big,
Like myself, yeah.
no, I mean
A
because
little bit of modesty
I'm the
there,
biggest
RJ.
wall, right? So not
Yep.
to sound like an ass, but yeah.
You're good.
But you'll get you know Saturday mornings out of the question.
Mhm.
Sunday morning, late nights are always good. I mean, like running in, always looking for someone overnight to keep that connection going. There's all sorts of everyone contributes. That's the key thing. I don't
Right.
care if you raise $100 in your stream, you can contribute to something. It doesn't matter. It's just we're there. We're there for a community event to have everyone. And it's another thing. It brings the community together doing that too. So, yeah,
But
yeah. Yes, Rob, you are.
we're doing a little bit of building, so we're really kind of
It's good.
looking at the rest of this year and early 2025 up to GaryCon right now is what we're kind of
Cool.
focused on. So we actually,
Excellent.
I have another member of the community that is going to be running an Alien game so far for
Oh, cool.
GaryCon. So a little bit of stream team thing going on there. Folks that are going to get engaged with GaryCon from our team. And we're also going to be doing a promo, probably a promo weekend, where it'll be walk-in games at a game shop in Green Bay.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that'll be coming up. We don't have a firm date on that yet, but we'll probably end up doing more than one. They're excited to have us come.
It's a lot of work, especially because you don't know the people,
right?
And so there's always that wild card thing. That's the one thing about going back to GaryCon. Usually the people at GaryCon are not going to be disruptors, right? I've never had one in one of my games, so
my first experience with running games at a convention was at the first Concentric at the Ramada O'Hare. I don't even think that con is there anymore, but yeah, and I got thrown into it. I'm a biter, so I volunteered. Part of the group that I was with did all the staffing and whatnot for the con, and then they come and they knew that I played Cyberpunk. I had run some Cyberpunk. I'd run some Car Wars, stuff like that. And apparently the guy the person that was supposed to run the Cyberpunk games didn't show up for some reason, sick or something like that. So they come and grab me and they're like, "Hey, can you do this? Can you run these games?" No. Sure. So that was my first experience with.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? What the hell? I'll do it. I was playing Vampire the Masquerade all night, staffing the con during the day, and then I ended up running games on top of that. So yeah.
So right after streaming, when I started in that May, I'm like, I went to cons when I was a kid. So I met Gary when it was at Widener, Gen Con East. I think it was 81 or 82. I got him to sign a Dragon magazine for me. But nice. I really didn't DM. The first time I ever DM'd at a con was PAX Unplugged in 2018. That was the first time I ever DM'd at a con. Now, I really hadn't done any special groups at that point yet either. And then I realized, wow, live streaming a game and running at a con is very similar.
Right.
Especially if you're in a special group and you're not going to play with them again for like 2 to 3 months, you don't want to leave them on a cliffhanger. So it's very similar between the two things. So it kind of, I could do this, and so that led from there from that on, because we're kind of secluded all those years, like 38 years we're in the shadows. So, but it is what it is. I would have loved to have been active years before that, but I didn't know any better. So
right. Well, but so the first 38 years of play were just a group of people who enjoyed the game, and
that's it. Played at home. That was it. 38 years of it. Now we're on year 44, and it's interactive a lot, up to 28 active adventuring groups. 23 of them are from my guys, and then 5 are special groups that will get together. Like this Saturday, we're doing Nuclear Meat. This Saturday, ranked the worst name ever adventuring group, because I make them all name themselves. So yeah, what's that have to do with D&D, right? But yeah, so we have that game on Saturday at 10. But
so how much cross pollination are you getting from? Well, from the GreyHawk Creatives group and people that RP or run games outside of the group that also play in the group.
A lot. So a lot of players, like for example, Tim from Stronghold D&D has been playing. Dave from Guild Superior has been playing. I got all the ladies: Bones, Darling, Myriad, Coco, Little Bird, Rob, Mike Disney, and a lot of special guests I'll throw in there. And then, then we got the Ed group, which, has Ed Greenwood and Eric Boy, 2 legends. Luke comes on whenever he can. Todd Stashwick comes on whenever he can. Eric Mona comes on, whenever he can. So, because they got characters that are active in the campaign. So, and that's really cool. We had, the Adventures at GaryCon that I run with those groups count as they counted. They're not just, it's a one-off. They were actually part of the campaign setting. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep, absolutely. And we have open signups. We have like 2 open signups for those games. They get in, and I just interact them with, get them characters that interact that are part of, that
Right.
make sense in the campaign setting. Yeah, so it works.
Just
So people get to play.
NPCs, or they don't get to create their own character? They just get an
They get to
NPC to
talk
play.
with me on what they want to do. So I'll give you an example. A gentleman named Steven Danielson. He's a platinum badge holder. He got in at at Gary Con, and he played the Ed Greenwood group, and he wanted to play an Elementalist.
Right.
It's the second edition. One of my classes, the Earth Elementalist. So he has a character named Orist Rothschild. Um, you a hockey guy?
And not me personally. But
No, not for going back. Okay, because I know if you're from the north. So Orist is the name of one of the Broadsea Burley's first names of Philadelphia Flyers from the '70s. So yeah. Um, so that character played in the game with Ed Greenwood's group 2 drink minimum. He's using that character Thursday night of Virtual GreyHawk in the group, where we're going to have 3 of my players, 3 open signups, and Ed Greenwood playing, and Lost City: The Soul Adventure that kicks off Virtual. So he has the character. So whenever
Right.
he plays, as long as the level's right, he can use that character. So it's kind of, the characters never go away. So I keep everything. I do everything on cardstock too. So if you get a character sheet here, so this is Coco's character Elazira, for example, cardstock. It lasts a
Right.
lot longer than paper. Yeah, Portrait Workshop and our sponsor. Yeah, so 2-sided lasts.
I just printed out all the character sheets last year for the games. I think I'm actually going to do. I had the cardstock. We were kind of last minute on actually getting the printouts done, so I just printed them out and handed them out. But I think I'm going to do cardstock this year. So
Cardstock works, man. And then because I take them, if they want to keep them, great. But like for the campaign
Right.
setting characters. So
I
I
just
have
want-
a wedding. I have a wedding this year. Going to happen in one of the games on the Thursday.
Oh
game.
wow!
Yep.
Wedding between characters or players?
Characters.
Okay.
2 characters. Yep.
I was going to say somebody's getting married at GaryCon, so
no. Well, that did happen a couple of years ago. We won't talk about that. The people that were involved, we don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
Yes. Persona non grata anymore. So you probably know who I'm talking about. Also, I said I had something beyond. I am one of the DMs this year for the Tower of Gygax. So
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Can you explain more about that event?
the Tower of Gygax is an open table. Every 2 hours, they switch a DM, and a DM can run whatever they want, a scenario, and the object is to survive. So,
Okay.
oh yeah, but
Ooh,
they'll
that
run the
sounds
scenario.
pretty
I'm
lethal.
going to have my scenario. It's going to be out of my campaign. It's going to be hysterical and deadly. Yeah, so I get to run it. But everyone, Ed, Harold Johnson, Zeb Cook, name someone. They ran Tower of Gygax. I didn't run it last time just because I had too much going on. I didn't schedule permitting, but this year I've made time for that. So yeah, I'm excited about doing that. It's only 2 hours. I can handle 2 hours. Yeah. So Tower Gygax, I'll DM 4 times when I'm at GaryCon.
2 hours goes by pretty fast.
Quick.
So, yeah.
One big encounter, one big slaughter.
Right.
It'll be fun. Yeah. I'm really excited about doing that this year.
I heard a lot about it last year. A lot of people were talking about it at the con. So
yeah, it'll be a blast. It's open. So whoever sits down, they got it. They're in. So it'll be fun. Yeah, definitely. One other thing I didn't talk about.
Yep.
I know I put on the list there was I always try and create like new things and do something different. So a couple months ago, I don't know what. Oh, I know how this came about. Little Bird, she always runs 24-hour streams playing video games, right? She's run like 30 of them, like some crazy amount. And like I'm like, how do you do it? She's like, oh, it's no big deal. And then she says to me, you should run a 24-hour D&D stream. And I'm like, is that a dare? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I decided to run a GreyHawk historical 24-hour D&D stream. Now, unlike playing a video game, I ran 3 different adventures in that time period, along with all the filler stuff and all. 3 different groups. I have to get together all the players, all the characters, all the stories, change out the terrain stuff. Man, I was exhausted after it, but it was on the Twitch front page. for most of it, which was awesome because in a partner you could submit a request for front page support
Right.
every so many 90 days or whatever, and they approved it. So it was awesome. It was so much fun, but it was exhausting. It was about the hateful wars. So it was actually 110 to 125 years in the past, depending on the scenario. And I had Ed Greenwood playing and all the ladies playing and just people from the community. And it was a fun time. It was nuts. So
Sounds
much
like a lot of
so
fun.
it was so much so the third group, which was hysterical because I was punch drunk by then. And my buddy Tim, the ever mysterious Tim, he hung out the whole time. He played in all three games too. They Glenna Coco's character Persephone stole all the treasure at the end, and they all went. They're all pissed off, and they all went after her. Well, I had it. I was like, man, I'd love to play this group again. What do I do? So I had them chasing her for 5 years, and they all got stuck in a mirror of life trapping, which they had been in for till the present day. So that's how I got them in future and into the present into the campaign. So yeah, we have all those characters now we can play. So I'm setting up that scenario too. So
Awesome.
who would have thought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're going to be doing another 24-hour stream. Is that correct?
No, not this year. Not this year. I'm going to do another one maybe next summer.
See, what if I dare you?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I got too much going on with the health issues and all. I got too much.
I get you. Absolutely.
Yeah, with the con I'm at the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo in mid-January. I'm a VIP guest there. I'm DMing and running seminars and stuff there in January. Then from that it goes to the fundraiser. From that it goes to GaryCon. So yeah, it's a busy time, and I want to enjoy the holidays. I run a lot of games over the holidays. People have days off, but I'd rather just run a 4-hour session, So it's a lot of work, man.
4 hours. 4 hours, nice. I don't. Yeah, I commend you, man. I don't know. 20. When I was 16, 17, 24 hours, no problem.
Yeah, not a 57 for me. No.
Yeah.
No. One time I did it, and like the middle of the night Curtis came on the middle of the night after the first scenario. From like 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. because I had a game starting at like 8:39. They came on. That was the toughest one. That was rough. Just babbling about stuff. I don't even remember what it was, half of it, but it's all on YouTube. So yeah, I was able to port it over, and they only take 12-hour vids. So
Gotcha.
it's in 3 parts because it went like almost 25 hours. Insomnia, man, it's rough. It's rough. It was fun though. It was fun, and it was worthwhile because the community loved it, and it was really deadly, and it was a blast. But it was an awful Herculean setup.
I think if I was doing a system like maybe like Dune or something like that, something that's got, or hey, maybe like Blade Runner. I think that could do.
That would be an interesting one.
I could probably do that at 24. I don't know. 24 hours is a long damn time, but.
That is, man.
As a player, as long as it involved me RPing that I was taking a nap, while I was actually taking a nap, I'd be fine.
I got 15 minutes. I got 15 minutes in that. Yeah. One time I said to Tim, Tim, I'm going upstairs. I'm using the bathroom. I don't know when I'll be down. You got to babble for a half hour. And so Tim did. Yeah. So at least I had coverage at that point. But yeah, I was worried about like the disconnects and stuff. The computer ran, I streamed not one break. Not one episode break, which is awesome.
Right?
Yeah, it was good. We got fortunate, but it was a blast. It was something different, Trying to and GaryCon, we had so much momentum, and that's why I started inviting other guests on, guest players, guests, DMs to the channel, because I wanted to keep the momentum going. Guest games, so
I can't imagine doing it. I mean, staying awake for 24 hours is rough. I couldn't imagine doing a stream for 24 hours.
Yeah,
we have to work up to that.
We started at like 6:37 on a Friday night, and I ran all the way through to the next Saturday evening. Yeah,
that's part of why we converted a little bit. We kind of backed off of I backed off the idea of running the live games as much for a while, and went to the straight to video with the next series that we're going to do. Number one, so that we can produce more content in a more consumable format.
Yeah.
And then secondly, because I was looking at it from the standpoint of, I kind of want to play for a while too, rather than just run games all the time. So
No.
I'm the other way around. I will
You
DM all
prefer
day
to
long.
DM?
Now, I have 2 characters in the Ever Mysterious Tim's campaign, which is in City State Invincible Overlord from Judges Guild, if you remember that, back in the early, it comes from the late 70s. That game's only 35 years old, as opposed to mine. Yes, we started it in college, and I'll play that character at once in a blue moon, Dervilia, my 13th level Cavalier. Not a Paladin, a Cavalier. I love that, doing that once in a blue moon. We'll stream that. We've streamed them. But for me, it's DMing for the most part. Yeah.
That's where your happy
That's
place
it.
is.
I've always been there.
Gotcha.
Always been there. So
Okay.
it's fun. It's fun. We got a lot going on. A lot of fun things happening in the next couple of weeks. It starts on Sunday, coming up with the Prelude show, and then the Thursday night, a week from Thursday, we start the events for Virtual Con, running through that whole weekend. And then a game with Ed coming up, and a lot of good special guests coming up, and then we'll see what happens in November over the holidays. I think I'll wean off just a little bit. Enjoy the holidays.
Yeah, Sparks. I mostly run games. I've been trying to do more playing, so it gives everybody has an opportunity to kind of sit in that GM's chair and
flex that muscle.
Right, develop the people around you a little bit. Work with them and give them an opportunity to run something. Especially since we do a lot. We do a variety versus. I mean, like I said, we play like our personal games mostly Dungeons and Dragons. But we working with like Free League, and Free League has a lot of really great games, and so, but there, it's variety there, and you have a lot of they're kind of dark horror, some of them.
I ain't complaining.
It's
by the way,
good stuff.
Sparky's in the joust too this year.
Sparky's in the joust as well.
Five signups, yeah.
So how do I get in the joust?
How do you get in the joust? Oh, yeah. This year, as a spectator,
I got to knock somebody off to get in the joust. Is that what you're telling me?
I was gonna say, Greg, do you sure you want to get in the joust?
So this year, it's a special format.
I'm a biter, man. I try everything. What the hell?
Only returning champions are not allowed back in. But this year, it's a grudge match formula type. So we're going to have 16 competitors, including returning champions. So Bones is a 2-time champion. She was a champion of champions.
I can beat Bones.
You can beat little Bones? I don't know. Lady Viriel. I'm sorry. Lady Isarel.
She'd probably kick my ass, but that's okay.
Yeah, she's so I got this grudge match going. I told Luke. This is me being devious. I told Luke, Bones is already talking trash, taking you out again. He's like, I'll tell her I'm gunning for her. And so I got them going back and forth already. So this time they get it's like Quick and the Dead. If you remember that movie, where you get to choose, hey, I choose you, and that's how it's going to happen after the first round. The winners and losers brackets will be set by then. Yeah. So it's going to be hysterical. People are going to be going after each other. We'll have some special guests on too to lighten things up a bit. But yeah, so it usually runs 3 to 4 hours on a Saturday night. It'll be at 6 o'clock. It's the highlight event of Virtual GreyHawk. And
Nice.
Trust me, the Zoom box is filled on that with all these competitors. It's a blast. And if you lose, you can stick around too. I have no problem with you hanging the whole time. People are betting on the jousts events and stuff. It's fun. Yeah.
Nice. So I'll have to just pay attention to where that's going to be. When is that? That's during the virtual GaryCon, 4th through 6th.
Virtual GaryCon, Saturday night, 6 p.m. EDT.
Okay.
On my channel.
That's October 6th to
October
5th to the
5th.
6th.
To be the 5th.
Okay.
October 5th. Yep. And yes, it's a fun time.
So what if I just show up and say I'm Bones? That work?
Yeah, I don't even think with a wig you're gonna pass.
I was gonna say, I think you're lacking the hair, Greg.
I don't think you want to have Bones come and kick your ass at GaryCon when she's pissed off, right?
You know, if it would actually get her to come and see me this year when she said she was gonna see me last year, then I'm okay with that. You can come try and kick my ass. That's fine.
Yeah. Bones is, yeah. You don't cross. They're great friends. You don't cross those ladies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can see that.
Main character. She's got her main character is a bandit. She also has a Clark Ranger in my campaign. Her bandit's badass. And so at GaryCon last year, one of her characters proclaimed her love for Myriad's character.
Oh, is that the marriage that's going on?
That marriage happened on my live stream event I did a month or two after GaryCon.
Gotcha.
This one is different. This one's Coco's character, Elazira, and one of the Winchester NPC, Emerson Winchester IV. So I'm going to turn that into an adventure there. So kind of, I like running stuff that's based off the campaign.
Right,
you know?
right.
So I ran Founders and Legends was different. Luke asked me to run one of the adventures his dad had done. So I wasn't sure I was going to do. Then Gary Julian Pluffett Smedger, who was one of the authors of the Living Grey, 3rd edition GreyHawk book.
Yep.
You know him? Yeah, right there. Gary Julian. He's on the list of our.
Can't say that I know him, but I know of him.
Yeah, he never shows his face. He's always he was on Legends of Lore last week. If you want to, on my show last week, he always has he never shows himself, but
right.
He has one of those, what do you call it, things, automaton things. He said, "Why don't you run Forgotten Temple of Pharazin? That's long, it's higher level," and Gary wrote it. I'm like, great thing. So that's what I ran. Yeah,
awesome.
3 days worth of
so what was that like? You're running, at GaryCon, personally asked by Luke.
At Founders and Legends, at Founders and Legends, 3 days of it. With some people were in all three, but a lot of people were going in and out because the way signups work. You know how that works. It's a free for all. So I had a set group of a pool of characters that, like, consider it. I hate this term because I don't know where it came from, but I've been running this style for 40 years. West Marches style, right?
Oh, gotcha.
We can bring in and out. Characters go in and out like it's like a bad TV episode. And you look like, who's that? There's a stand-in for him. That's what happened during it. So, but I had Todd Stashwick play. And Todd had Morton who's a fighter major in my campaign. Todd's awesome, and then had a lot of regulars from the community, and I had a lot of people I didn't know as well, and it was a fun time. So it was really good. 3 days of running that. So, and that was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday was the way it worked for Founders and Legends.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yep.
That's right. My good friend Todd Stashwick there, Rob. Don't you forget it. So, yep, absolutely. Todd's a good guy. So, but things have been a whirlwind the last couple of years, and I'm trying to keep up.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, got some stuff. I kind of postponed a little bit on the time my Troller Games publication because of what's going on health wise. I can only do so much.
Gotcha.
But
I
there's a lot.
Did want to ask you about that.
Yeah, my publication's out, and I think I left it downstairs. I have the Free City teaser's out. That came out at GaryCon. I don't know if you got a copy.
I did not, but if you got a spot for a copy or you got an extra one,
I will put the PDF. I don't know if it'll fit. I'll either Discord me your email. And I'll send it. I think it's under 20 megs. Yeah, it's got a lot of great campaign stuff in it. I think I left both copies downstairs in the basement that I have left. Yeah, unfortunately. But I'm doing writing for Visions of GreyHawk and the Grey Grimoire, which are both publications that are coming out now in the community. And I have a secret project that I'm not supposed to talk about, but I open my mouth too much. That involves GreyHawk and involves having it published.
Shh. Don't worry, we won't tell anybody. You can tell us.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to that. Definitely
Yes.
keep us updated on that.
That was very exciting. So we're waiting for the go-ahead for that hammer to drop, and then I have a team put together already, and
nice.
People who know what they're talking about and stuff, and it's going to be exciting. And it's going to blow away anything that the owners of the license do. I'm being kind, okay?
Okay.
It's going to be fantastic.
All
I'm
right,
so
you heard it here, folks. We're clipping
uh,
this.
yeah, it's going to be awesome. So just wait,
You
just
know,
waiting for the gun, just waiting for the gun to go off.
the
We're
the,
waiting for that to happen, and once it does, it's full throttle on that. So yeah,
the kind piece is good because it's way too easy to get dark and ugly. So
Mhm.
all this stuff that has gone on in the last 6 months, God, I don't care. Okay, all the crap happened at Gen Con with the crit awards. I don't care, right? Whatever. It's like, why is everyone complicating life? Just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Just all the stuff about how this is going to suck. It's going to ruin our GreyHawk. No, it's not. It's we're gonna get such an having this in the Dungeon Master's Guide. I had Mike Schley on. You know, he did the map for the Dungeon Master's Guide.
mm-hmm.
And we went over all the changes on it, and it's going to bring in people. It's only like 9 pages. People are going to want to know where to go. They want to have information. Well, that's kind of where the community is trying to place itself. Here's where you want, because we have all the information. We have all the people who know how, and yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I tell you, I enjoy listening. I enjoy listening to your show. I mean, there's a lot of the GreyHawk Creatives that I pop in and out when I can, and there's some really good content that goes on there. And I appreciate them a great deal. And some of the Gavin episodes and things like that, I enjoy listening to them, partially because you're creating your. I mean, it is GreyHawk, but you're creating your own world, and that's the the piece to understand about it is that it is your world, and I'm
Gary said
all
way
about
back,
the story, man.
Gary said way back. Gary Gaga said, "Make GreyHawk your own." So I started that in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
So when I knew public, that's another reason why I did not like the direction 3rd edition went. So that nixed that, but I love the direction 2nd edition went. So it's a 1E2E hybrid.
I prefer to think it went from about 2 to 5, and 5's I'm okay with 5.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I've had the good fortune of playing 2E, 3, 3.5. Played 4 for a little bit. I'm almost ashamed to say that.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I've had a little too much water to drink.
Let me tell you this. Eric Mona was ecstatic for Paizo when they did 4th, because Pathfinder. That's when Pathfinder got its big jump.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because Pathfinder was missing 3.5 with their own changes, and a lot of stuff that Galarian is ripped off from GreyHawk. There's a lot of stuff in there that is directly correlates to a Galarian deity to a GreyHawk deity. Because Eric was the man for GreyHawk for years. So, and a great guy. And plays the best RP'd character on my channel all the time, ever. And that's Venarium Ford. He has a priest of Ralashaz. So if you he's going to be playing at Gary Con as well with a Slav squad again this year, coming up in 2025.
Yeah.
That is something to catch, and it'll be 9 a.m. on Friday. Yeah,
definitely have to check that out.
He's great. He's great at it.
I would rather be at the table playing with him. If he plays the best RP character, that's
well,
like,
there are 2 open signups.
I want to do that. Yes.
One of them's going with the platinum and diamond badges, and then the other one stays open until they open up gold and silver. So yeah,
I'm functioning on my GM badge, so I'm like last in the line with all the silver people. So
it's okay. It's okay. It's part of doing all this, part of doing streaming, and part of doing is wheeling and dealing in the community, and just I was a politician when I was younger, but salesman my whole life, and that's part of the gig. So, gotta selling yourself and not having it not come over too arrogant, confident, right?
Right.
It's part of it. It's part of it. Sell yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. And from that, connections get made. So people have told me no. I've had a lot of people. Oh yeah, Sparky. I was a 2-term elected councilman in my hometown when I was 21. I got elected in 1987. Yep. Actually, I was
Impressive.
20. I wasn't able to drink at the celebration. Yeah, I was 20. Yeah, back in 1987. Yeah, and 2 terms, and then after I had enough. So 87 through 93. But yeah, sell yourself. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, politics. I'm a retired politician.
Retired politician.
Yes, it's retired. Yeah.
You know, the saddest part about it, Jay, is that sales is it's a universal skill, and everybody should have a little bit of skill in sales, because no matter what it is that you're doing, you're always going to be selling. Always.
Yeah.
So
whether it's you, a product, a service, whatever it is, yeah, absolutely.
It's not hard to talk to someone and not BS them and tell them whether you can do something or not, and they'll respect you for it a lot more. So I always say, look, if I say no, it's because, and I can't do it. I'd rather do that than lie to you,
right.
you know, and that's the way it is with, I've been rejected for shows, like for people to come on, big names you would know, won't come on my show, hey, okay, no
Right.
biggie.
Right.
No biggie. Saying no is fine, so, but then again, if I didn't ask, I wouldn't know.
It is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing at all wrong with it. Rejection's part, but you go from rejection,
Right.
part of life. So what other questions might you guys have? I know we're
go ahead.
Go ahead, Greg. No.
All right, we're going to sit here and pass this back and forth. So, no, Jay,
No.
I do want to roll into a little bit about, do you know what some of your folks are going to be, some of the folks from the GreyHawk community, what they're actually going to be running at GaryCon? It might be a little early, but GaryCon 2025?
I have not asked them.
Okay.
I'm not. I think Darling's going to have actually have a Cyberpunk game. I'm not sure if she's running it or Kurt's running it. Someone, I think they're going to have one there.
Interesting.
So one game. Yeah, I think. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know that a lot of them came last time, and then they realized, they played some stuff and they realized, wow, I can do this. So, as events going, but I have not talked to any of them about it yet. So I honestly don't know. But they'd be great games to get into. I think they'd be fun. So, yep, it's gonna be a blast. And for me, and you sound the same way. I don't have time to sign up for anyone else's game.
That's my problem.
Yeah,
I could solve it by just not running as many. But
I got it. So here, I got into Stefan Picorni's game Saturday afternoon. I know Rob was in on it. I got into that game, and I was so exhausted when I got done Saturday from the 2 weekends that I bailed on it. I exited it so someone else could sign up for it. I was just like, I can't do it. I'm exhausted. It's better that someone else sits down and just relaxes. I sat down. Someone else gets it, because I was just like,
I'll be running my games. I'll also be playing support in 2 Alien games for GaryCon. So we're kind of planning that, so it's
nice.
So a little puzzle work there to get them to fit right. Yeah, it'll be interesting. And then somewhere in there, I'm gonna find some time to actually, go check some things out and chat with some people. And
yeah, so I have, in addition to the games, I have Thursday game, wedding event, Friday game, Slav Squad with Eric Mona, Saturday 2 drink minimum game with Ed Greenwood, Thursday afternoon, what's new in GreyHawk seminar. It'd be myself, Anna Meyer, GreyHawk Mike Bridges, and Roger Moore this time as he's going. And then Saturday afternoon is going to be a Portals and Connecting Worlds, something like that. I'm paraphrasing now, for me, Anna, and Ed. Because we had Ed last year, we did the maps of his setting last year. Wow, man, that was such a great seminar. So Ed's like, we got to do another seminar this year. I'm like, yeah, I agree. So
I actually ran my game for 2024. I actually ran like either right next to or a table away from Ed, the morning game, all weekend long.
Really?
Yeah. I think.
Was he playing at that game or was he DMing?
No, he was running his game. He was running his game. I was running my game. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep. Same room as Ed running. I think Sunday morning he obviously doesn't realize it was me or whatever, but I ended up having his favorite table because he liked the two long tables in the back of the room. He liked the one on the left. Right. That was his favorite table. Well, they scheduled me there. So when I got there, no one was there. So I figured, you know what? I'm scheduled here. I'm taking this table. And I think he stood behind me for like 10 minutes, just looking at the table. And one of the guys at my table was like, "Hey, Ed Greenwood's staring at you."
So you gave him the table?
Nope. My table.
Oh my gosh! So, all right, I should not do this. I should not do this. But another reason why I do early games.
Yep.
And if you get in a big room, say Legends, a role-playing room, and all the tables are numbered, and no one's in there when you get in there, I will switch the numbers to the table I want.
Probably should say that aloud on the stream, buddy.
Well, Josh knows it. Oh yeah, I'll do it. Oh yeah, absolutely. I've done it. I do it all the time.
Jay's playing.
That's what. Yeah.
Seriously,
I don't care.
All Ed would have had to do is say something to me, and I had to give him the table. But yeah, it's my table.
Apparently.
If you want it, ask me for it, and you can have it. But I'm not just gonna get up and move. Sorry, buddy. Even though you're Ed Greenwood, love you up, man. But it's my table, so.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
Good old Ed. Ed's such a wonderful person.
He is.
We're doing a lot of joint. We're doing a lot of joint articles now for divisions. So he has, for example, he gives me a lot of writings of what he does during when he's on my Gavin streams and puts it together all in compilation. So the last one was rumors. So he did a whole bunch of GreyHawk rumors. So I attached all my rumors to it, and then we put that out as a publication in Divisions magazine. So we had our first one in Visions 3, which was great. So it was a joint. Hey, I get to do a joint article with Ed Greenwood now. So it's like, it's
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Super.
So it's a really neat thing. He's just such a great guy. He's also given me a lot of advice on publishing and a lot of advice on what to do and what not to do. Because these guys act together, you know.
Right. I mean,
look at the stuff that he's put out.
Yeah.
He's put out stuff that he puts out stuff now, like he did the Wizards of Thay one, right? Outside of the oversight of WotC, and he basically told them he was doing it. I don't want to go into the details on how he does that, but he does it. So when he wants to put something out, they don't stop him.
Yeah.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, again, that's just my opinion. It only benefits them.
They have a tight grip on things, man.
Yeah, they
do.
Very true.
But they're not going to butt head. There's a reason, and I just can't get into that. But yeah, Ed is very like. It's a funny thing. So when I want something to get out into the market, Ed always says to me, "Remember, Jay, if you're under an NDA, I'm not under the same NDA for you. So if you want me to, you tell me something, I'll tell it to everyone." It's like, well, same thing in reverse, Ed. If you're under an NDA and you want to sneak something out to me, okay, and then So these are the tricks of the trade. I'm talking too much now, but it's funny. Yeah, Ed's great. He's like, screw the NDA. I'm not under one.
That's all right. We all get to learn a little bit, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Fun times.
Yeah.
Real fun.
Oh.
Yeah. So, all right, I don't have any other real questions for you. I really, tonight was really just about sharing some information about the upcoming events. Talk a little bit about the GreyHawk Creatives and all because there's some really great streamers that are in that group and our peers that are in that group. Matter of fact, I see there's a couple of them that are on right now.
Absolutely.
Folk and Myth, Darling Creep Show. You have a great group of people there, and a lot of them are Troll Lord Games. Actually, their official stream is part of your community, right?
Absolutely. And they sponsor me, so Chuck was on. I don't know if I told this last time. I apologize if I did. Chuck was on me a year. Sponsor me. Like, Chuck, I don't use Castles and Crusades. I feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
Then I said, well, do you have adventure modules? And he's like, yeah. So I started running them and putting them in GreyHawk. They're actually on Anna's map now. In the Wild Coast area, it's a couple of the ones I ran. I said, all right, there you go. So now, and that's how that relationship got kicked off. But Steven Chenault's GMing, I should say, for them. Castle Keeper, they call it, at Virtual.con. Chuck is, and we have a joint seminar with Troller Games and myself and Anna as well.
I thought several of the streamers in the community are also Troller Games people, right?
Yeah, it kind of reaches out to them beyond me. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool, you know. And
definitely. So the more they get their name out, I mean, they're on a roll since the OGL debacle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a lot of people are. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on a roll.
Yeah, we got that definitely put some damper on us as well. So
yeah, it's just like I just watch from the sidelines. Because I'm like, it doesn't affect anything. 1E2E, no, whatever. Right. It's okay, you know. But that's to say, I haven't run, like, I ran an adventure out of Candlekeep Mysteries because my friend Tony Winslow Brill wrote the last Xanthoria, the last adventure in that. Has a deity that's a GreyHawk deity. It's actually in Temple of Mental Evil. I converted it back to GreyHawk, ran it. It was awesome. So I've run stuff out of 5e publication content, but it's got to be the right place, right time. Yep. TLG sponsors a bunch of us in the community. Yes, they do. They partner with a lot. They are great. Chuck's a great guy who is a community director. Like I said, Davis is a hoot. If you did not get to hang out with Davis for 30 seconds is all you're going to get to hang out with Davis at Gary Con
right.
in the after hours. Yeah, you know, Steven will hang with Davis. I don't know. He's like, you wind him up and you know, he goes off.
I can't even tell you I made quite a few connections at GaryCon 2024, and I can't even tell you who half of the people were. I didn't, you know, I made several connections that I didn't realize who I was talking to until later on, you know. But hey, that's what it's all about, you know, and it's a lot of fun.
The hardest thing for me is putting this, and I did it to Sparky. Virtual.con, I go in on the joust, and I got my listing of all the signups for the joust in the second person. I'm like, I know this name because it's signed up in the real name,
right?
But I don't know who it is. I can't remember who it is. So I sent him an email. I knew everyone else. And he's like, yeah. I was like, I felt so bad, you know. But just like putting the Twitch name with a real name with a face is daunting sometimes, right?
Yep.
It is just too much.
I had one of the lead content guys from Square Enix who actually played in my Cyberpunk game 2 out of the 4 sessions at GaryCon this year. I had no idea who he was until Sunday afternoon. He had come and introduced himself to me and told me who he was. But yeah, he's one of the story guys for Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, cool.
So that was pretty cool.
Zeb Cook still work for them?
I don't know.
One of them came from that. I'm almost positive it was Zeb Cook. I don't know if he's still there, but he was there. Is that Bethesda?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. I don't know if he's still there, but he was there for years. Yeah. So, and a big D&D guy. So GreyHawk. Yeah. I mean, Rob, it's tough. It's just so hard to keep track of everyone. So, but you do your best. So.
Yeah, a lot of fun people. That's the key to it.
That's the joy of it. Just meeting a lot. I have so many more friends because.
And yes, he is actually. I just looked him up. He is still
still there.
Still designing for ZeniMax. 15 years, 9 months.
Yep. He's a legend.
That's some longevity there.
Vecna Lives. That's his adventure. You know, all the other stuff he did. I think he's, X1. Oh, Dread. I think that's his too, right? Lots of legendary things.
Yeah. I am probably. I think I talked to you about this quite a while back, Jay. But I have a copy. It was originally a Rolaids called The Undead.
That's his too, right?
I think so.
Yeah. When I had him on, I was like, oh my God, he did all these roll ones too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got Night Bay and the Lich Lord Council and all that stuff in there. I've been debating on doing a stream out of that.
I would.
It's a lot. I played through that a long, like 20 years ago. I played through that, and it's actually really.
But people want to hear the old school experiences. That's kind of the charm of what I do on Sunday nights, right? Because most of the people who are watching on Sunday nights aren't playing 1E, 2E, D&D, right? But they're getting ideas from it, for whatever game. Because I have a lot of people that have gone off 5E and you're going to Castles and Crusades. A lot of people are going to Shadow Dark now, right? I'm going to just keep on trying along, doing what I'm doing, and having all these special people playing in the games. And, they don't want to, they're picking up something because a lot of them are going off of 5th edition and they're going into something else. Even OSR, some of them are going into, so that's the charm about it. There's options.
Some are going into the 2024 realm as that comes out as well. So
yeah,
I'm not going to be negative about that, but I'm definitely going to take my time before I'm going in that direction.
The only commentary I'm going to have on any of the stuff that's come out is about the GreyHawk content in it. The rest of the rules or stuff I'm not going to comment on something. I'm not going to. So, all right. I'm not ending this on a negative. Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. All these special guests. There's like 30 YouTube streamers. They're not streamers. 30 YouTubers.
Right.
And I'm the only Twitch streamer. So I'm the only person that does it live. Everyone else is like, oh, you do a video. Great. But you can edit that, right? There's a big difference. But they don't get these guys just like, I have 110,000 followers on it. Yeah, well, that's like 1/20th of that you'd have on Twitch if you're lucky. So they don't get it. And a lot of these guys, they're controversy to streamers, right? Not channels. And we know who they are. I don't want to do that. I don't need to go on and bash what WotC and TSR, WotC and Hasbro are doing. I don't need to do that. But I'm going to talk about what they've done with GreyHawk when I see it. And I already did with the map, but I don't care what direction the rule set goes for that because I'm not playing it.
Right.
Someone else wants to talk about that. That's great, but I'm not going to bash something that there's no point. I'd rather be positive about things. I'd rather create content and create. When we do this, con is neutral edition. I don't care what edition you run in. You can run in any edition you want. 5e, even if you wanted to run 4, you could, right? So having clickbait, I know, Rob, that's what a lot of them are.
That's fair.
Yeah. So I am not here to do that. I'm not here to, look what WotC did now. And you see a ton of them pop up, like I said, I won't go into names because I don't want to give them any credit, but yeah. So I get into that. I get into a little rivalry because it's 20 of them against me coming up in January. Seriously, because they're all YouTubers. Not single other streamer.
I'm just going to say it. I mean, we started out this channel. I started out this Razzmatazz channel. We created our the update log that we have, our talk show, and the idea was, talk games, because that's what we're all about, is creating good story in games. And I'll be very honest with you, we went for a while, actually earlier this year, where we got very negative, and we're now in the process of a little bit of reality check. Is, hey, I don't want to be there. That's not who I want to be.
No, so there are channels that are comical about it, like Clownfish, right? But they do other topics too, right?
Yeah.
So and they're the ones that drive me crazy, and that's why I'm not saying any of those that are like, oh my God, just stop it, do something positive, because I think that's the best way to go about it,
right?
Because I think people appreciate it more. The last thing I want to do is possible new people to our community bash the new 5.5 or whatever they're calling it when that's all they know. It makes no sense. But I'm going to have a show, and I'm going to say, hey, I just created a specialty priest from scratch on Sunday night, right? Did that on the show. if a 5th edition person goes, "What's this all about?" I'm like, "Well, this is a 1E, 2E, 2nd edition deal." And they're like, "Oh, I've never played that." Well, here's something that you don't know about.
Right.
Oh man, that's so much better than the priests now in 5th edition. If they come up with that and go, "Wow, look at all the variety." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the point." So, that's
Yep.
the way I'd rather go
They're
at it.
independent systems. That's how I look at it.
Exactly.
It's how I look at all of the reiterations. They're all independent systems. I mean, you a little bit of that is going on for Cyberpunk with Cyberpunk Red versus 2020 or 2013. I mean, the system. I don't look at it as the system is, however, maturing over time or whatever you want to say.
Right.
I just look at it as, it's a different system and it's designed to be palatable to a different audience. And that's really how I look at it.
Yeah, and GreyHawk is neutral.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the data could be in some edition, but GreyHawk itself is a setting. It's not a rule system.
It's not a system.
And that's where a lot of the angst comes from some of the people who are like, well, they're gonna ruin it. I'm like, they're not gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna let them ruin it, because we're gonna bring out something cool.
Right.
Yeah, down the road, and it sounds like they're resetting it. So and so it doesn't affect my campaign.
There are some things I will always be negative about, though. Fortunately, it's not going to be in the gaming realm. It has more to do with what Amazon does to some of my favorite stories. But anyway.
Let's not get into that. That's for a different episode, Greg.
Yeah, for me, it's Disney.
Yeah, they're guilty too.
With the exception of Deadpool. Right.
Yeah,
because they know better than to leave Ryan Reynolds alone, let him do whatever he wants to do. Right. They're smart enough of that, but the rest of it, my God.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with you on that one,
Yeah,
Jay. Deadpool is about the only thing that I think they realize if we meddle with this, it's not going to go well.
Right.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully they realize that with the rest of the content that they're putting out, but let's not get into that.
Definitely not. But I understand that. So I wasn't for example, Kripke, I thought the boys season this year was terrible. But last season, because I love Supernatural and
that was kind of sad.
Boy and all that. Yeah. Oh my God, that was hysterical. Last season was fantastic. I thought this
huge Supernatural fan. I actually got to go rewatch it because I didn't finish it. I didn't get to see the last season. So
I am shocked. I am really shocked. I got to share this with you. What I think it was this past Saturday, and you know what happened this past Saturday. I was using my wife's Supernatural coffee cup.
Oh, you broke it?
I accidentally knocked it off the desk, sitting right here. I knocked it off the desk.
Did it have Jensen Ackles' picture on it or something?
Yeah, and yeah. And
oh boy,
how mad was she?
She hasn't realized it yet.
Oh my gosh!
Good thing she doesn't watch the show.
I didn't offer up that bit of information. Not yet, anyway. I'm kind of thinking I'm ordering her a new one, so maybe it just won't.
Smart. That's smart.
It'll just new one will show up in the cupboard. Be none the wiser.
The main NPC family of humans in my campaign are the Winchesters. Okay, that is not ripped off from Supernatural because this goes back to 1980. They ripped me off. That's the way I'll say it, okay?
Right.
Where does the name Winchester come from in pop culture? Where do you think? Is this 1980 we're talking about? Don't you answer it, Rob, because you know already.
The Winchester name comes...
Winchester is a name of a character in an... Yes, Bart, it's Matt. Charles Emerson Winchester.
Oh, yeah, MASH. Yep.
Yeah. I've seen seen a couple episodes from that show.
Actually, I have Emerson Winchester IV, Elijah Winchester. Yeah, so I have. That's where it comes from. Yeah, so back in the day. Okay. So everyone goes, "Oh, you're using Supernatural's last name." I'm like, no, guys, no. That's
this is out before they were even a thing.
23 years before. Yeah. So just so you're aware, that's the crap you put up with when you've been around for so long. So yeah,
right.
It's fun. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. I think I really appreciate you coming on with us tonight. We are, like I said, we are going to be focused mainly on. Well, I hate to say mainly. We're going to try to focus as much attention as we can on creatives that are going to be part of GaryCon from now until GaryCon. We're looking at having some folks from GaryCon actually come on the show and talk a little bit about the history of GaryCon and what that's like. What's it like for them?
Yep.
I imagine you can get Josh pretty easily. Skip, I had Skip on once, and Skip is drier than burnt toast. So, yeah. But it may be good. It may be good. So,
we'll see. I know that from the messages I've gotten that a certain somebody with the first letter of their name being L is aware, and there's a question that's out there. So we'll see what happens.
He's a good guy. He's very busy, but if he can give you his time, he will.
Absolutely, and hopefully, because I would really enjoy that sit down. Be able to sit down with him and talk GaryCon, Gary Gygax, the history, there's a lot there. I think I told you I have one of the I have one of the original playtester crew shirts from TSR.
Oh wow!
Give you a little bit of my history involved there, but but
those are the days.
Back in the old day where Greg had his luxurious hair.
One thing put in a Dragon magazine over all those 38 years. One thing. And it was Ask the Experts questions that Skip answered. And we had a character, we had a gnome who had both his legs removed, and they put him in a backpack behind a character. So that's where he was. And so we asked the question, how much does a legless gnome weigh? And so that was the question, and they actually answered it.
Sweet.
Yeah, that was it. That was my contribution for 38 years. So yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Dragon magazines, I have been collecting. Ideally, I want to have one of each edition. I don't have that yet, but I think I'm only missing 70 editions at this point.
70?
Yeah.
Do you have one? Do you have 1 through 5?
I do not. I almost. I don't have them.
Yeah, well, a Dragon 1 in perfect condition is $500 now. So
I had a chance. I had a chance to pick up 1 through 5 actually a couple of weeks ago, but it was they were. I got them down to like 3,200 for.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say 2,000 plus. So yeah,
I don't want to do that right now. So I think I'll just I'll hold off on that.
If you're gonna get something, like I always tell people, get the hardback books. Get a first edition, first print Deities and Demigods with Cthulhu and Melnibonen, and that holds its value nicely. So that's like the toughest, rarest one by Jim Ward's Past now. That's the one to get. If you can get that reasonably.
I just decided a couple years ago that I was going to collect all the Dragon magazines. So I went from having no Dragon magazines to having all but 70 of them in just 2 years. So, yeah, odd little collector things. Like I do have quite a few of the original, like the advanced D&D books, Dungeon Master's Guide, Player's Handbook, the Birthright campaign. I think I actually am missing one book out of that.
That's good. They're really expensive. All I have is the box set for that.
Well, that's what I had. I had the box set. I love Birthright. I never got a chance to really dig into a campaign with that, but I just love the story with the Scoons and the whole idea there.
It came out too late. It actually had what's his name, who had wrote the book, showed a chart where that was going to be TSR was the company then. That actually bumped up in sales. That was super popular, but it came out way too late in the second edition era to save the company. Right. But that was a home run. The Birthright was.
Yeah. It was So, go ahead, man. I think we're on the same page.
It played into the Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing people. Big. Right? Who wanted to play D&D, because Warhammer Fantasy Role-Play can be kind of trite sometimes, right? Kind of can really, So, it was, is trite the right word? Droll.
I enjoyed the Warhammer Fantasy piece. I can't say that I actually enjoyed the game, but I did enjoy what they did with the system there and how they developed. They created just, you know, almost like an infinite number of possibilities as to what you could play.
For me, it was Blood Bowl. I love Blood Bowl.
Oh, Blood Bowl's awesome. First edition.
Yeah, I mean, I have a set going back when it first came out. You know, with the old, almost like styrofoam field that came with it and all. Yeah, I mean, it's just like wow. It's too bad the computer games aren't that good. You know, the AI is not that good. But that was a great game.
There's nothing like playing the tabletop version of Blood Bowl to me.
No,
that was
fantastic.
That was an awesome game. Yeah.
Definitely a good game. I was thinking about trying to incorporate it into GreyHawk. I'm like, it's not GreyHawk. It's not GreyHawk.
Hey, why not? You could do that kind of a Underdark sort of thing. I mean, you know.
The Joust is GreyHawk enough for me to do that, and that's people have a lot of fun with that. So, yeah.
Somewhere in not Thay, but somewhere in the Scarlet Brotherhood, maybe. You know.
No, Scarlet Brotherhood. They're not gonna let anyone in. They're not gonna let elves. They're not gonna let any demi-human. No, you can't do it.
That's why nobody knows what goes on there.
Yeah,
could be anything.
I hate the Scarlet Brothers, by the way. I hate what they did with it in second edition, but it's for another show. Yeah.
Yes, it is. All right, guys. So we'll.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. It's been a pleasure to have some conversation about everything, the GreyHawk community, GaryCon, which I'm really, this is I gotta be completely clear about this. This year was actually my first year going and doing anything with GaryCon. But I kind of fell in love with it. It's a fantastic con, and it just has to me, it has more of a homey feel. It's not,
Absolutely.
It's not a Gen Con. Gen Con, it's okay. I don't like, that's insane. I actually chose not to go to Gen Con this year.
I went once, and once is enough for me.
Yeah.
You know, in the last 5 to 10 years, I'm like, it's too big. So GaryCon is large enough that you get a lot of good people there, but cozy enough and comfortable enough and intimate enough that you can just walk by Harold Johnson or Zeb Cook or Ed and just say, "Hey, Ed," and shake his hand, and he, you know what I mean? It's just that's the feel that you want.
If you happen in at the right time, you can sit down and have a drink with them.
Yes, you can. Absolutely, amongst other things.
Yeah.
Get in trouble with Ed. So I got a lot of pictures of it with Ed. Trust me. I don't know if you've seen him, but I got a lot of GaryCon pictures of Ed misbehaving. So
really, Ed misbehave? You got to be kidding me.
Oh yeah, that's Ed. Ed's got that little dirty old man in him, but it's all in fun. So
all in good fun. I could tell that it's in his personality, but that's part of what makes him who he is. So
yep, that's the charm of Ed. So thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
Thank you very much. I think
thanks for coming on.
So Folk and Myth and Darling are both on. If you want to rate one of them.
That's what I'm looking at right now. I was thinking about rating into Darling, but I think maybe I might hit Folk and Myth.
I think Darling is painting and Folk and Myth's got a game.
Yeah. So, and I haven't hit Folk and Myth. I don't think I've actually.
I would go into Bleak if Bleak is DMing or whoever's one of the guys.
I gotta. There they are.
Yep.
Yeah, it is Bleak. Awesome, and I like Bleak. Bleak does a really fantastic job. So we're gonna raid in there with them tonight. Thank you everybody for stopping in, checking out the stream tonight, listening to us go on about all the different events that we love that are coming up. Thank you, and we'll see you actually Wednesday night. Come and join us for the update log episode
69 of the update log.
69, my favorite number.
Yep. That's right.
Have a good night. Thank you very much.
See ya. Have a good one. Thank you.
See ya.